Hey guys, so in today's video we are going to be doing a thorough review of the Bonsenkitchen food vacuum sealer. So this one is a very modern looking one. So again, I will leave a link to this item in the description box below. The price varies from time to time, but the link in the description box will have the best price available for you guys. So feel free to click that link and check it out if you want more information. So now let's go ahead and dive right into the video and start with the unboxing. So first, inside the bag we have the tubing, and in here is the user manual along with many bags that comes with it also. And here is the main product of the entire video, the vacuum cleaner itself. So this comes available in two colors, the white or black, but I personally like white better and it matches my house a lot more, so I got the white one. So on top we have two different options, from dry to moist. So dry is for you to seal up dry food and moist is to seal up wet food. And simply hit seal for it to start sealing and press stop when it is good enough for you. And simply slide this over to the left or right to cut the bag. So it does come with a roll of bag inside of here in which you can cut or use it to the length or dimension that you need. Or you can simply use the bags that it comes with here to seal up the food that you need. So now let's go ahead and open up this food vacuum. So in order to open it, all you have to do is press the two buttons on the side here. Simply press both buttons and raise it up to open. And as you can see there inside we have an entire row of bag here. So this is a very decent and nice amount of bag which should last you for a good bit of time. Now you do want to go ahead and remove this piece of paper, cardboard paper here. So they do have a message in here to let you know that make sure you always place the bag opening into this gray slot right here. Alright, so now let's go ahead and do some testing. So I have a couple of things here that I will be doing the test with this food vacuum. First I have some fish, and then second I have some shrimps. Now the fish and shrimps are both raw, and here I have some sausage. And then lastly, we are going to be doing a test with some of the fruits I have here. This is something similar to pickles. So we're going to try these. This is definitely wet right here. Now to start using the food vacuum, simply open it by pressing both buttons on the side. Once that, open this thing up. Get your bag out to the length that you need. And then simply press this back. Make sure you hear that pop lock on both sides. Once you hear that, then simply push this over. So what this does is it cuts the bag. So once the bag is cut, simply press the button on top here. It says sealed. So we're going to want to seal this in since we just cut it. So just hit seal, and you can see the light comes on red right there, meaning it is in the process of sealing that end of the bag. Once it finished sealing the bag, you will see the light goes off. So this will take just a few seconds. And as you can see right there, the light is off. So now the bag is ready. Simply press both buttons again on both sides to open the machine. And as you can see there, it has perfectly sealed the end of this bag. And now we can just put our food in here. So I decided to do some dry testing first. So we are going to seal up some of the cereal I have here. So here I have some cereal in the bag, and these are definitely dry. Now when you put this inside the vacuum cleaner, remember you have to put the lip right here, the place where the bag is open right here. you want to place it inside this gray slot right here. That is because this is where the vacuum is going to be happening. So make sure you put this lip right in here. Once that's in place, push it back down, lock both sides, and then make sure you change it to dry. So it is already on dry. That's the light you can see right there. So if you were to do moist, just simply select moist, but we are going to be doing dry in this case. So go ahead and select dry, and then now we're going to actually press vacuum seal on this side. So I'm going to try to raise it up to show you guys. Alrighty, here goes, guys. And once it's finished vacuuming, you will see this light pop on, meaning it's sealing the other end of the bag. So it's done. Once it's done, just press both buttons on the side again, and this is the finished product. So as you can see there, dry food wise, it does an excellent job. And here's the result for the sausage. Again, dried food does an excellent job. Now when it comes to the wet food, however, so I noticed when we switch it over to the moist option, it does not do so well with the moist food product. So I actually poured an entire cup of water in here to test out the if it will do a difference if I put some water in there or without water, or just a little bit of wet food. But it doesn't do any difference whether I put water in there or if it's just a moist food alone. So even if the food is just a little bit moist or with water in there, it does not vacuum that well. So here's my piece of steak. It is currently in a Ziploc bag. So I'm going to actually switch this over to the vacuum and see how well it does with this piece of steak. So this one is a little bit wet, but instead of using the wet feature, I'm just going to use the dry function of it. Here, as you can see there, it is kind of defrosting and it's a little wet there, as you can see. But again, like I said, I'm going to be using the dry function. Let's see. Let me go ahead and do this. How about we do this? I'm going to show you how the moist function and what the moist will actually do. And then I'll do the dry right after. So I'm going to switch it over to moist and then vacuum sealed. Alrighty, so as you can see right away, it does not vacuum it so tight when you have it in the moist option. Let me go ahead and take it out and show you here. So you can still move the food around somewhat with the moist option. So let me go ahead and cut this in one more time and then show you how it does if it's under the dry option. Alright, and now same piece of steak, but this time I'm going to use the dry function. And right away, as you can see with the dry function, it works a lot better compared to the moist. So let's see, so if you want to use this vacuum for, you know, vacuuming somewhat damped or watery food, you can still use it. Just go ahead and use the dry selection instead of the moist, because when you switch it over to the moist option, the vacuum function is really weak. Now when you do this, make sure you hit the seal vacuum button the second time, so you actually seal it twice, and it will really preserve your food very well. Like I say, this one is the wet food, and I use the dry feature or function instead of the moist function. So again, it does works pretty well as long as you don't use it for anything like super watery things like this. Dry food, again, does a very good job when it comes to dry food. And let me show you the finished product of this piece of steak here. So there, as you can see, same piece of steak, but I use the dry function instead of the moist, and it is a lot better. Alrighty guys, one last test. I do have some fish here. These are pretty wet also, so we're gonna do another test to see how it fares out with this wet fishes. And again, I'm just gonna leave it on dry, and then we're gonna press vacuum seal. Remember, even though this is a little wet, the dry function still works a lot better, so just avoid using the moist. I don't use the moist at all because it doesn't work well when you move it over there, but it does work very well with the dry option. So let's go ahead and vacuum it. So it is done, and it is currently sealing it right now. Now remember, I do recommend you to go ahead and click vacuum seal the second time. That way it can completely suck out all the air and fully seals it. That way your food is preserved for a much longer period of time. And again, once everything is done, you can just slide this over to that side, and it will cut the bag. And just open it. And we are good to go. So it does work pretty well with wet or moist food. You just have to leave it on the dry option and do not use the moist option. So guys, overall, it does pretty well when you know how to use it. Instead of using the moist option, again, just use the dry option for wet food and dry food. So when you do the moist food, like I just did the fish here, so this piece, if some water comes in there, it will hold the water here, which is a good thing. So you can just take this piece out and pour it into the sink. So with this vacuum also come with two hoses for you to vacuum. If it's wine, liquor bags that you have, you can also use it with this vacuum. And it also comes with a wine cork. And lastly, it comes with a replacement of this blade on top here. So this piece, you can just easily pull it out and remove it if you need a new razor. So all you have to do is stick it back in there. So overall, again, this one is a very modern looking food vacuum, and it does everything that I need it to do. So again, I will leave a link to this item in the description box below. Feel free to check it out, guys, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks, guys.